Second, let me break down what rape culture is. Rape culture is the fact that that man felt that he was entitled to some of this woman's time just because he said, let me talk to you for 2 minutes. Doesn't matter if it's 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 minutes. If she said no, no means no. Rape culture is the comments that she has on her video about how she should have just spoke to him or dressed differently. Rape culture is me taking the heat for calling out other men for their terrible behavior. Rape culture is trying to explain stuff as, oh, it's just locker room talk. No, it's not locker room talk. You should talk the same way wherever you are. We all know that rape is not about sex, it's about power. So for you to force yourself on somebody, even if you're just talking to them, is disgusting, dude.
He's happy that she's okay. So you have to look at your results, Mr. Perry, and look at ours. We have names of people that work for you. Geppetto is your witch. Calvin is bald and fat and really not well liked. People hate him. That was what we heard. He's a fucking asshole. Lucius, I found out you trafficked me before you did to some guy in Houston. He's still, I guess he's here. Thinking when it gets cold enough, I'll finally go ahead and be trafficked. Sorry, you're wrong. You're wrong. I'd rather be dead. I want you guys to understand something. I'd rather die than go to Houston and suck everybody's dick. And that's what trafficking is. And I'm sorry for the vulgarity. That's what trafficking is. We quote you guys every day. We quoted you today. Can you call her and please tell her to leave Oklahoma? We're all like, oh my God. Okay, I came to Oklahoma. My family's in Oklahoma. I came here to get away from you. You came up here and for 6-7 years now have done nothing but hurt people, and everybody fucking hates you. We have names of people working for you. Sanjay is the hacker. We got Blankenship, Desiree, Monique, Beverly, James, Ruben. I mean, come on, Charles. You don't have even one name of anybody working with us. Not even one. Nobody will call you back. When you go around hurting people, everybody, they don't like that. Watch the news. Look at how people react to crime. Look at the polling. Crime was second on the list of things that were important that Americans want stopped. People don't like suffering. They don't like hardship. They don't like when one person hurts another. Watch the news. You see the Derek Chauvin thing. Everybody got outraged at the corruption, at one person hurting another. Watch hurricanes. Watch shootings. Everybody rushes to the aid of the victim. They do not like the person who caused the hurt. They do not like you. You have not one name of anybody working with us. Not one. We have names of people from inside your criminal organization. It is criminal. It is deviant. It is disturbing. It is, depraved. You're depraved people, all of you. It is not normal to want to hurt another person. When we quote you before you do something to me, it is to establish malicious intent. You sat down, you had a little meeting, you planned to do something harmful to me that you knew was a criminal act that would cause me a loss, like bodily injury, deprivation of food and shelter. I'm going to starve her until she lies. I'm going to have her eating out of a dumpster until she does what I want. Instead of just leaving everybody alone, not bothering anybody at all, you have come up to a state where you do not live, uninvited. And you have hurt people and hurt people and hurt people and caused people to feel very uncomfortable and very disturbed by what you're doing. And so we can get information very easily because our guys have said, we are stopping the hurt. We are stopping the crime. He won't hurt her anymore. There's a bunch of you, or it wouldn't have taken so long. There's a bunch of victims. There's a lot of jurisdictions, and you know that. Mr. Realtor from Houston, I would encourage you, sir, to not be pathetic. The best you can do is have to buy somebody who doesn't want to go with you. And the only other, you and Charles going to share me? What is this? There's a reason Mr. Perry's by himself. He's a reject. He's a fucking rejected fail. I don't like him. He makes my skin crawl, and he knows that. I feel nothing for him, but deep disgust. He's a job. So are you. I'm very good at what I do. We have information on your crime no one else has. Human trafficking is a very serious crime. Billions of dollars are spent stopping it. It's offensive. It's abusive. It's rape. It's sick. Are you a rapist, sir, from Houston? Only thing better than freezing is you. I mean, the only thing worse than you is freezing. The only thing worse than you, Charles, is eating out of a dumpster. You guys are not even impressed with you, so why should we be? You're not impressed with you. If you're not impressed with you, I'm sure shit not gonna be. Look at your results and look at ours. People feel very, very uncomfortable with what you're doing. Just like they do this Neil guy. Mr. Perry types in my phone, and he doesn't even make sense. 1 minute he'll type in my phone, I'm happy. And the next minute, who's telling on me? Is it the Tulsa County Sheriff's Department? Is it Kohl's? Is it Starbucks? Things that do not even make sense. He has Huntington's disease. Huntington's disease causes psychosis, delusion, and paranoia. Look it up. WebMD has every disease, look it up. Everybody was kind of baffled that I found out he had it. That's the thing, though. You have police investigating you who have offered to stop the hurt you cause. What if I walked into your home, tore up everything you have, everything you love, everything you worked hard for, threatened all your friends and family, and then told you you have to leave your house? And that's what you've done to me. I came here to get away from you. David and Calvin and Lucius, I don't know you. I don't like you. Didn't pick a fight with you. You are picking one with me every time you cause a loss. There are 40 guys that think just like him. I'm glad she's okay. What can we do to make this stop? I'm sleeping in my car, not to be with you, Charles. What he did is came up here and told people, here, they have a big trafficking thing. They traffic women. They find women who are divorced with kids. Apparently the teenage runaway is not working for his clientele. He makes money 2 ways. And I've said this before. I'm repeating myself. Mr. Perry, that's the other thing. Everybody's extremely aggravated at the number of times we have to say the same thing. The one guy, I'm going to talk about this one guy. When police are hired now, I don't know how it was before in Tulsa. Now when they're hired, they have to go through a process of testing to make sure that they can make a reasonable, prudent, sound decision. And if you can't, you don't get hired. You can go be a rent-a-cop. So if you are not able to make a reasonable, prudent, individual decision, then you don't get to be a police officer. Part of that is not allowing sex trafficking in your jurisdiction, not allowing stalking, hacking, peeping in your jurisdiction, not allowing first-degree murder of a police officer from Oklahoma, and perjury and frame-ups and obstruction of justice and destruction of evidence. And these guys reoffend. They can't stop. They can't. They don't have it in them to stop. When we get something you guys just said, Mr. Perry, it is because you are being stopped. I did find out you have Huntington's. There's 2 things we hear a lot of. Why is he doing that to her? What is wrong with him that he's doing that to her? It's upsetting people, what you're putting me through. And Officer Neely. Very, very, very disturbed. You're making people very, very uncomfortable. And you're making people angry, furious with you. The second thing we hear is, how did she find out about that? I found out about that because people are having to ask, why is he doing that to her? What is wrong with him that he's doing that to her? See, here's the thing. Most people never have to be told that at all. And you all have been told over and over and over and over and over. And you're not getting it. People do not like crime. Why did you think they would like yours? People do not like one person hurting another. And every time you do something to me, we get it. And we usually get it before because y'all had a meeting. And you just sat down and you planned it. And you were malicious and cruel. Sometimes you don't do it. Sometimes you do. Sometimes you know that I find out and you'll go, let's wait. Well, we can't do it now. Let's wait till the dust settles, create a panacea, and we'll do it again later. Then you talk about it again later. Now we don't have 1 recording of you. We have 2. And then 3, and then 4, however many times you talk about it again. There's probably 100 on the starve her until she lies. Probably 100. 100 times, Mr. Perry, you are so cruel that you sat down and decided that you were going to intentionally and maliciously cause me bodily injury by starvation. You can die from that. And it upset and disturbs people so badly, we got it. Because everyone wants you to stop. You can't get any quotes from any of our guys' meetings. You don't even know who they are. You don't even have one name. In 7 years, not even one name. No one is going to help you continue to hurt me. When you're in jail, we're getting all this information, Mr. Perry, not for party entertainment, not because we're bored, to put you in jail, get a conviction, and get restitution for your victims. And the more you give us, the easier that will be. And any reasonable, prudent individual would not have to be told that. They could figure that out by themselves. There is social justice. There is, that's not what I meant to say. There is a civilized society in America in which someone, somewhere, we have federal and we have each 50 states, decide we are not going to tolerate this behavior in our society. If you do it, you go to jail. That would include stalking. It's a felony. Hacking is a felony. Voyeurism is a felony. Coercion is a felony. Obstruction of justice is a felony. Witness tampering is a felony. Destruction of evidence is a felony. Perjury is a felony. Trafficking is a felony, comes with a life sentence. Prostitution is a crime. Sometimes it's a misdemeanor, sometimes it's a felony. You're doing one crime after another crime after another crime after another crime. And in our civilized society in America, we said we do not tolerate that. The Constitution is rule. I live where I want to live. You're breaking the law. You're getting told on. You're offending people. Your conduct is inappropriate and illegal. Look at your results. Look at ours. Name one guy working to help me. Name one. In 7 years, you have not one. Blankenship, Desiree, Beverly, James and Ruben you thought were leaking. Mickey James you thought was leaking. Al you thought was leaking. Z you thought was leaking. Geppetto is your witch you hired to do seances and cast spells on me. He's frustrated they're not working because we get what you say all the time. We get it. People work very, very hard to get that information from you to us. Does she have sage? She can't take the Eucharist. We got to make sure she doesn't become a Catholic and she can take the Eucharist. I won't have any power. Sir, I've taken the Eucharist at different churches all my life. It's not about the ceremony. It's just a ceremony. It's just a ritual. It's about what goes on in your heart. I'm sorry that you've chosen to do what you do. I have your name now and I know you're a witch. We have Lucius's name. We have Calvin. We know Calvin is bald and fat. Sanjay is a hacker. I'm naming your people. I'm naming your people. Name one of my guys. Look at your results. Look at mine. You're making everybody upset. You're making everybody uncomfortable. We're making everybody very glad. This is all about to end. You make people feel scared, threatened, stressed out, guilty, like throwing up because what you're doing is so nasty and gross and obscene and vulgar that we can get information and you can't. We make people feel happy. You're toxic. You're making people disturbed. You're asking people abandon your morals and everything you believe in and your principles and do this thing you know is illegal and wrong and gonna hurt somebody, or else will hurt you too. Everybody's sick of feeling that. Everybody's sick and tired of feeling that way. So everybody else, it's a civilized society, Mr. Blankenship. Mr. Blankenship, you better listen to me. You're in a lot of trouble. It's a civilized society, sir. We do not tolerate illegal conduct. We put people in jail for that. Period. Period. Look at your results. Look at mine, Mr. Perry, Mr. Robertson, Calvin, Lucius. Look at your results and look at mine. In 7 years, you have not one name. Who's Muffin Man? Who's Monique, Charles? I have a bunch of names. I quote you guys every day. I have for 7 years. McNamara email was in 2015. It was the first you know of, not the first we had. Because normal people are like this.
Leave me alone! Please!
Just talk to me for 2 minutes. First, let me say that I'm happy that the lady in this video is okay. Second, let me break down what rape culture is. Rape culture is the fact that to some of this woman's time just because he said, let me talk to you for 2 minutes. Doesn't matter if it's 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 minutes. If she said no, no means no. Rape culture is the comments that she has on her video about how she should have just spoke to him or dressed differently. Rape culture is me taking the heat for calling out other men for their terrible behavior. Rape culture is trying to explain stuff as, oh, it's just locker room talk. No, it's not locker room talk. You should talk the same way wherever you are. We all know that rape is not about sex, it's about power. So for you to force yourself on somebody, even if you're just talking to them, is disgusting, dude.
It is disgusting what you've done. People hate you for what you've done. We can get information and you can't. Look at your results. Look at ours. Look what people don't like. Look what they do like. Look who has the support they need and who can get the help to get the information and who can't. Right? It's that simple. Mr. Perry has a mental illness. He has a disease called Huntington's disease. It causes psychosis. It causes a man to be mentally ill, crazy, nuttier than a fruitcake. It causes delusion. He imagines things that are not real. It causes paranoia. That's what it causes. If you have prostate cancer, you're going to have a tumor in your prostate. So, Huntington's disease causes delusion, paranoia, and psychosis. He's certified mentally ill nutbag. Certified. Got the diagnosis for it. So when you have a police officer a few weeks ago who was told you could pull her over, and she is to sign a letter of apology that we wrote, not her. It's our words, not her words. And an affidavit. And she is to go be trafficked. And he said, no, I'm not going to do that to her. And he was told, you may not have a choice. And he said, oh, I absolutely have a choice. I'm a police officer. This guy's mentally unstable. And I'm not going to put my name on a bad decision of a mentally unstable man. I said no. And we're hearing that more and more. Mr. Perry has bothered me all day about pulling her over. He said she did something, and I'm looking at this, and it looks like he did it, not her. I've also got a bunch of stuff here he shouldn't even know about. So he didn't get it legally. I can't use it. And he's called me and demanded and called me, and I'm sick of him bothering me, and I'm getting sick of bothering her too. He needs to go to Texas and be with his family and get a life. Lucky complained about it. Another guy said when she blows by me, I'm not pulling over. I have to go to the bathroom. I'm not doing it. She has lost her ass trying to help a police officer. And they have punished her. So if they want me to help punish, I'm sorry, I gotta pee. The only way he could know when I was gonna blow by him is Mr. Perry's a hacker. He uses Sanjay. They use my food delivery apps to Hansel and Gretel me is what they call it. They have code words. We have those too. Somebody said that, Mr. Perry. I don't think Mr. Perry is smart enough to understand what it means that she has that information. That is huge that she has that, and not good for us at all that she has. How'd she get it? How is she getting this stuff? Look at my results, look at yours. Our guys offered to stop the hurt. Well, you cause it. People don't like hurt. We don't have any problem. We don't have any problem getting help, getting information. No one will help you. No one. It has been 10 years of this, Mr. Perry. Day after day after day, you drag this on and on and on. And you get hated more and more and more, and we get more and more information from right inside your criminal camp or somebody who's talking. I don't want to be asked to do this. I'm not doing it. I had guys come into my work. They wanted me to say XYZ to you. That's weirdo. I'm not saying that. I'm fucking not going to say that. I'm not a weirdo. I hope you get out from under this bitch. Senator Wackadoo, they call you, sir. You're not right in the head. And it's so obvious. It isn't normal to want to hurt another person. It's fucked up. Your mind is fucked up. Nobody invited you to Oklahoma. I came here to get away from you and not have to have any contact with you at all. No conflict, No fuss, no fight, no drama. I fucking hate drama. I moved twice. I picked up everything I had where I was. Went to all the trouble. You cancel services. You have to go, start all over. Get your kid in and out of school, registered and all that. Very time consuming. To not have to deal with you. You came here and you were not invited. And you've done nothing but upset people, threaten people, cause everybody to be afraid, cause people to feel disturbed and anxious and uncomfortable and creeped out. You creep people the fuck out. And you did not have that right. I have the legal right to privacy. I have the legal right not to be stalked and harassed. I have the legal right not to be hacked and voyeured, people raped. It's rape. It's vulgar. It's a felony. It's outside social norms. It's deviant. And in a civilized society, we don't tolerate it. You go to jail. You go to jail. Listen, dude from Houston, I think you can do better than having to buy a woman. I don't like you. I've heard that you said I wanted her back on that pole dancing so I could go out there and let her get to know me a little bit. I'm not like she thinks where, sweetheart, you don't have to live in a car. You can live in my house. Now bend over and suck my dick. I'm not like that. Well, maybe you are, maybe you're not. It's not relevant to me. You're doing something illegal. What I said is I don't go out with a man unless he makes sure I don't miss a meal. How many meals have I missed since you've been up here watching, hoping I'll change my mind today? This will be the day she changes her mind. This will be the day the pressure is so unbearable. She finally changes her mind. Maybe when it's 8 below, she'll change her mind. Then I'll be the better choice. Maybe when she's digging out of a dumpster, if we can take her car away from her. Like we keep talking about, like they must have 100, I think we've got 2 or 3 recordings a day about you taking my car away from me, no matter what I'm driving. My car has been wrecked and wrecked and wrecked. People always, your people, always go for the wheel. They hit me at the wheel. I'm being hit. I'm not doing the hitting. And I think Robertson talked about doing it again. And he was told, you cannot wreck her car again, dude. This is severe psychological abuse. Why would I want to do that? I don't go out with a man. I won't have anything to do with a man unless he makes sure I don't miss a meal. You thought that getting a pilot's license like Daryl had, Mr. Perry, would make me like you. And people laughed at you. We heard about it. Tell her I have a pilot's license, maybe then she'll like me. And they laughed at you. And the guy goes, this is how loony this guy is. This is what a nutbag he is. It's not about the pilot's license. He made sure she didn't miss a meal. It was about that. He was good to her. He treated her good. He tried to help her get a home when Charles was trying to take her home away. Whether he had a pilot's license or not had nothing to do with anything. Daryl worked hard, and he did nothing but good things for people. Not just me, everybody he knew. And I never missed a meal. He made sure I didn't. One day, when you were trying to have my home taken away, Daryl, keep in mind, offered the landlord, I'll pay for her for the back owed rent, and from here on out, I will personally make sure her rent gets paid. She's been going through hell. She's going through hell. Mr. Perry was already attacking me, and Daryl knew that. I'll make sure that she's okay. I'll make sure the bill's paid. And the guy said no. Well, if you have a rent, and Daryl said, I have rentals myself. That's your bread and butter. That's your income. Why would you say no? Unless Perry is paying you more to kick her out than you would make from the rent. That was the first time that happened. That was in Lubbock. So I left. I had already planned to move. The only reason I was there was because of Daryl. He asked me to stay. As soon as he died, he got cancer. Things had progressed very quickly. Within 9 weeks of him knowing he had cancer and his death, it was 9 weeks. It was very quick. It was very painful for me. Very painful for me. So, one day, he was in Tahlequah. He has a ranch in Tahlequah. And, or he did when he was alive. It's clearly he doesn't now. And I was like, I gotta pay my rent today, and I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do, and I'm sick and tired of asking for help. I said, God, please don't make me ask for help again. I'm so tired of that. Within 5 minutes, literally, the phone rang, and it was Daryl. And he goes, your rent's due today. Do you have it? And I said, no. And he said, okay, I'm in Tahlequah at my ranch. I'll be back, and I'll be there as soon as I can. We'll get it paid today. He got in his car, and he drove like 90 all the way from Tahlequah to Lubbock, and he made sure I had that rent paid. He got pulled over by a highway patrolman, Oklahoma highway patrolman, pulled him over. And he explained the situation, and the guy said, fine, just go. Be careful, you need to slow down, you're going to have to slow down. But I'm not going to give you a ticket or anything like that. Just good luck to you, sir. God bless you, and go. That's what people love. That's what people love. They don't like getting a phone call. We're going to take her car. We're going to hurt her. She's going to eat out of a dumpster. She's going to sit in the freezing, snow, whatever. And you're going to help. That's not what people like. People hate that, and they want it stopped. Look at your results and look at ours, Geppetto, Muffin Man. I mean, we're out of words. Most people don't have to be told this at all, much less over and over and over and over and over. And sir, you bought something that wasn't yours to buy. So, hang on a second, and I'll get into what they have done. Okay, we're getting a little tired of hearing you guys say, can she prove it? We did it, yeah. Can she prove it? And on the Neely thing, I think that first of all, when you do it, yeah, I can. I told you so. Second of all, who has the actual recordings, and what criminal court will that be heard in? And what court is it already being heard in? As probable cause, so they can get some sort of order, investigatory order, wiretap type deal. What court is it in? It's sealed. Nobody can get to it. This is a need to know. Name one guy in that deal. This is what the witness says. As long as I've known Mr. Perry, he will find women who are divorced with kids. So you have someone who's smart enough to carry on an adult conversation with a wealthy man like a realtor from Houston. She was supposed to be in Sugar Land by Monday. Sugar Land is right by Houston. I'm not going, sir. I'm not going. I'll freeze to death first. I'd rather be dead than go with you. I don't date men like you. I just don't. I'm on the other side of this. I'm part of a team. And y'all ought to know that by now. It's different when you do it to me. You have a lot of victims. This has never happened before. Your guy said that, Charles. When he pesters Cynthia and takes her money, things happen we've not seen before. They don't go well for us. She finds out beforehand. Then we have to table it and let the dust settle and create a panacea, and then try again and talk about it again and give them yet another recording on the same thing. Like it's a fucking Alzheimer's unit in a nursing home. So, they pick women who are somewhat vulnerable. They're single moms, but they're not completely vulnerable like a teenage runaway would be. And they make money in two ways. They put hidden cameras in our homes. I was one victim in Lubbock. And broadcast us all over the dark web and sell watch time. And not only that, but us and our kids. So it's child pornography. They've sold it all over the world. They wanted to go global. Boy, howdy they are. A lot of jurisdictions involved. I guess y'all have asked me about other countries. Is it Peru? Is it Switzerland? Is it, China? Oh, for God's sake. No one is going to help you with information. Everybody just wants you gone. We get help with information, and you can't. Everybody just wants you gone because you cause hurt. You cause anxiety. So, then, while he's broadcasting us, we're on display for who might buy us. And he begins to tear our lives apart. He gets us fired. He makes sure we can't find another job. We lose the house. Then he has the ex take the kids away. Now we're easier to traffic. We have nothing left. They have tried to steal my driver's license. They have stolen my social security card. They have stolen my birth certificate. These are documents. You can get another one. It's hard. It's a pain in the ass. They want me in a homeless shelter so they can have a homeless person take my computer and my driver's license. Once she doesn't have her computer, she can't get her homework done. There's no more school money, and she's easier to traffic. We heard you talking about it. Because we have help getting information, and you don't. Look at our results. Look at yours. People like what we're doing. They do not like what you're doing. It's been that way for 7 years. Most people don't have to be told. any of this at all. When you're mean to people, they're not going to like you. People, it's, our shrink said that when, our shrink said it, Lonnie Athens said it, or another, I think one of the shrinks in his video said it. When there is brutalization and victimization and abuse, so you have a parent beating the hell out of one child and maybe not the other, it traumatizes the other child to have to watch it. It is abuse for that child, psychological torture for one child to have to watch the other one getting a beat down. And it can affect them for the rest of their lives. He discussed that. He was that kid. He was abused. He had to watch abuse. He became a criminologist. 99.9% of the population, he said, doesn't become a violent offender, abused or not. Only 0.1% of the population can't keep up, and that's y'all. Because telling people, I intend to cause a bodily injury by starvation, is a violence. It's a violent act. Getting a hitman and saying, hitman, let's stage a medical emergency at work. She'll go help the victim. Then tell her the guy's got a virus. Give her this shot with strychnine and kill her dead. We'll tell her family it was just an unfortunate allergic reaction. They'll be okay with that. That is murder in the first degree. Beating a police officer until he's dead and is decapitated internally. Trying to kill the other with opioid overdose is a violent offense. It's premeditated. It's murder in the first degree of a cop. Attempted murder in the first degree of a cop. Perjury, suborning perjury, fraud upon a court. And we all know about it. Everybody knows about it. When I'm talking about it, it's not a secret. Everybody knows about it. You have no idea how many people get the same information I get. You don't know. No one will help you with the information because everybody's deeply offended by what you're doing to me and Mike. And they want it stopped. Normal people do not want to hurt another person. They don't like watching it. They don't like it when one person does it to another. You saw people scream and yell at Derek Chauvin. Stop it. When he was killing George Floyd. They don't know George Floyd. They don't like watching one person kill another. The whole world blew up. You're causing that much distress. We can get information and you can't look at your results, look at ours. You don't have one name. Not one. You're proving this witness out, Mr. Perry. So what he does is while we're getting exploited, we're also being trafficked. And I found out before, I'm the only one that has. I have police helping me. From somewhere, right? And there's nothing you can do about it. We've told you and told you and told you. My guy found out you were looking for him and you wanted to call him. You wanted a phone call. And he said, I don't talk to stupid. I have no time for that. I'm too busy getting stuff like this to keep you alive. What I said is, she's not to be broke anymore. You're not to invade her privacy anymore. And you're not to contact her at all. Show some respect for the law. Show some respect for her. There, conversation's been had. I'm the one that gave her information that you had trafficked her. And to who? I'm the one that told her you drugged Mike Neely and framed him. I'm the one that told her he was drugged. Before anybody else said it, depositions were not taken yet when I said it. I'm the one that told her your names. Calvin, Geppetto, Muffin Man. I'm the one that gave her all that. How do you think she got that? I'm the one that gave her the McNamara email. And you're pissing me off. You're not going to waste my time. You're not going to waste my time. If you can't understand what I just said, she's not to be broke anymore. You're not to invade her privacy anymore. And don't contact her again. Or anybody she knows. Leave her alone. Leave everybody the fuck alone. Just go work. Go be. And leave everybody the fuck alone. It's not hard. We all do it. Why can't you? So, you need to get a life. And so if he can't understand what I just said, I'm not going to waste my time on a phone call. I'm busy trying to get information so that he can't hurt her anymore. Now, look at your results and look at ours. That's the witness statement. It's a violent offender. He's got, I don't know how you call a high-level official and tell them, I have a sex dysfunction, and my dick runs my life, dictates my time and my money, and I can't control it, and I just need you to cover it up. How do you fucking make that how do you make that kind of phone call? Judge, I have a dick problem that I can't control, and I need you to, you know, I got sued. Somebody finally sued my ass, and I need you to just dismiss everything. Too many ex parte hearings, we hear that all the time. If she couldn't prove it, why would you do that? 3 lawsuits. 3 times Mr. Perry and his guys go in, his people go in, ex parte, and everything's just dismissed. I'm never there. You didn't win anything. You have to have an opponent to win. There's 5 attorneys, seasoned attorneys. I've not been to law school, so everybody's made that comment. It's a joke, Mr. Perry. What's the harm of letting her in court to show evidence she does not have? And 5 attorneys can't handle 1 woman with no law school. 5 seasoned attorneys cannot handle 1 woman. The thing is, the first hearing, before they realized I could actually do this, they made sure no attorney would help me. If you've hacked somebody, you're sitting there watching who they're calling. So you don't have to, it's not much to call the guy and go, don't help her, I'll pay you more. Right? So, I couldn't get an attorney. I'm like, fuck this, I'll do it myself. I went and bought law books, I'm studying, I'm reading. I filed a lawsuit. We have our first argument before the magistrate in Tulsa Federal Court, Judge Jane. And Mr. Perry files a motion to dismiss, and she denied it. So I didn't do half bad on my first, right out of the gate. After that, they won't let me in court at all. So don't go around telling people she can't prove it. You know I can, or you wouldn't do that. People aren't stupid. Here's the thing. You're stupid. Everybody else isn't. You think you have I can do this and get away with it. Sir, if we're getting stuff like this and what you just said, names of your people, why is it you think that? No one understands why the hell you think you're getting away with it. If we quote you before you do it, not after, I know I was trafficked and I know who to. You wanted me in Sugarland by Monday. Every day you call somebody, please take her car away. Please take her car away. Every fucking day. If we can get her eaten out of a dumpster, she'll leave Oklahoma. Why do you want me to leave Oklahoma? Pathetic. What's it to you? What's it to you? See, if you weren't picking a fight with me, you wouldn't have all this stuff go on, where you keep getting caught. Because the only thing that's happened when you pick it on me, you do the crime to me, is you get caught. Nothing else has happened in a decade. Nothing. There's not a date. There's never going to be a date. There's no love life here that's real. Mr. Perry's imagining it. What are you going to share me with the guy that bought me? And does he know that? I mean, what did your attorney hammer out a contract to sell a human being? What is this? If we're quoting you and we know people involved, you're not getting away with shit. You're not fucking getting away with shit. You're stupid. Everybody else is not. Everybody else is scratching their head going, what in the fuck? What in the fuck? You're the ones asking, how does she find out about that? How does she know about that? Because we can get help getting information, and you can't. No one will help you. Everybody hates you. Everybody's sick of this, and sick of you. And I'm repeating myself again, and everybody's sick of that too. Everybody's sick of your inability to put 2 and 2 together and figure out when you're mean to people, they don't like you. People do not like crime. They don't like it. You're being stopped. He said, give it back and get the fuck out. And don't contact her again. She's not to be broke again. There's no excuse for this. I applied for a job at Walgreens. I applied for a job at Carrabba's, I get it, but it's tips. Then they decide they're going to send all their guys in, run my ass off, and not tip me. So I quit. First day, we find out, I quit. Then I applied for a job at Walgreens. They asked me to. I walked in. We are desperate for help. I'll do it. I'd like to work here. I apply. I get a letter back immediately. You're not qualified. Wow, that's bullshit, and I know that. Everyone knows that. There's people working at Walgreens that haven't finished high school. I'm in my 3rd year of college with a 3.64 GPA. I had a 3.9 GPA until Mr. Perry jammed up my computer and I couldn't turn in assignments. It's very difficult to finish college assignments when you're homeless. I'll tell you that. It's hard. He's trying to do whatever he can do to make me fail. How many of you men sit around and try to figure out how to make me fail? Okay, so I can get a job at Target, Quick Trip, or Walgreens. You can fog a mirror, you can get a job there pretty much. I mean, you don't have to be a super genius. I owned a business. I'm very qualified. Very, very, very qualified. I can't get a job where it's an hourly wage and I would make enough to pay my bills and shit and have food and shelter. Because they interfere, just like this guy said. He makes sure they can't get another job. So you proved out my witness. Thank you. We appreciate that. The judge has already heard about it. And, but they'll do, I can dance and I can do anything where it's a tip thing, where they can control how much, make sure I don't have any money. Or food delivery, where they can hack my app. Now, with that said, for a couple of weeks there, I was in a hotel. And I was able to pay the weekly rate, but the owner decided. I said, look, I'd like to stay here. I've run out my week that was paid up. I'd like to stay here, but here's how the deal. I'm paid every day. So can we work out some sort of a daily rate? And the guy goes, well, what we normally do for everybody else is you pay the weekly rate, but we'll let you pay the weekly rate out over several days. Can you do that? I was like, sure. And that was the one night that I was working, and it was through 3 steps, 3 steps forward, 2 steps back all night. They fucked with my money all fucking night. And somebody handed me money and said, go home. You go pay your bill, go home. We've been watching him fuck with your money all night long. So they gave me the money. If they can and not be detected, they'll do it. So, did he hand it to me or did he leave it for me somewhere? So you don't know. Anyways, you'll never know. Anyways, I was able to take care of it. Well, other than that one night, I was pretty much able to pay the amount every night. Very consistently, I was doing up pretty well. And I was only working from 6 to 2. 6 at night to 2 in the morning. And I think one night I worked. There was 2 nights they messed with my money. One night they couldn't get anything to me, so I worked up about 6 o'clock in the morning. The other night they got some money to me. And so what happened is they had planned. Her car guy knows where she's at. I'm pretty open with my car guy for a reason. You've talked to him, and he's starting to get aggravated at you right now, isn't he? Yeah, because if you're not letting me make money, I can't pay my car guy, which you tried to do. Right. It's called interference with commerce and contracts. You're going to go to jail. That's one charge that you'll be getting. So remember that every time you think that's cute when you do that. Remember, I can get information and you can. Ask Geppetto. So what happens is he made sure I had enough to stay at the hotel because my car guy knows where I am. And I'm paying it daily pretty much. And they said, but make sure she doesn't have enough to also pay the car. Then he knows where she's at. He can go get that car from her. Take the car away. Please take her car away. If she's eating out of a dumpster, then she'll like me. Only then will I look like the better option. If she freezes to death and eating out of a dumpster. Right? Okay. We've heard you say that so many times, it makes everybody want to barf. That's what people are very angry at you for, Mr. Perry. That's why we can get help getting information and no one will help you, sir. People don't like what you're doing. It's disturbed. We don't tolerate it in a civilized society. America is a civilized society. This is not a third world country. This is not Iraq. And you need to show some respect for the law and for other people. When you do, it's amazing how many people will come along and start trying to help you. Yeah, but when you're cruel, they're going to start fighting against you if they can. Now that we have our guys coming in, they can. So whoever was too afraid to help before, they're not now. We got reinforcements. Okay, reinforcements, you don't have one name of that. Okay, so my forensic, my guys tell me that. Here's what they're trying to do next. You got to get out of the hotel. I know it's going to suck, but you're going to have to do it. So get out of the hotel for a little bit. So my forensic accountant guy, who's gone to the strip clubs and figured out exactly how much money Mr. Perry has stolen from me and Mr. Robertson, He says, here's what we're going to do. You're making X amount of money about per day, pretty much. Sometimes it's a little more, sometimes it's a little less. So what you can do is every other day, you can put some money aside that'll pay for a week of your hotel in about 10 days. And catch your car payment up. And catch this bill up and that bill up. And you'll still have some for food. So can you do that? Sure. Only all of a sudden it dipped. And I'm now working more. I started working at about noon. Sometimes I'll work 12 hours, noon to midnight. And during a lot of that time, I had severe bronchitis. Severe. So when we get information is because people are pissed off. You're putting me through that. Very pissed off. When we quote you and get names, people are very pissed off. When you first said to people, there's not going to be a new apartment or a new car. None of your business. You aren't invited here. Stalker. You're committing a felony that you even know. I was looking for one. Yeah. So, and that's what the guy said. He's got all this information. I know he didn't get it legally. She's not going to call him and tell him about this, and this. There's stalking is a felony, hacking is a felony, and that's the only way he could have this information that he just called me and gave me. Wanting me to pull her over with it. Yeah. So he was pissed. He needs to leave. He won't leave me alone. And he's not leaving her alone. He needs to go back to Texas and be with his family and get a life. He was pissed. So he said, I know I have this, and this information. And I know Perry could not have, she's not going to call him and tell him about this. So how'd he get it? Stalking and hacking are a felony. He didn't get it legally. He got it illegally. During the commission of a crime, no less. So I can't do a fucking thing with it. And he's wanting me to use it to pull her over. And I don't have time for this. I really fucking don't have time for it. So I guessed at it being Jinx. You know why? Because they hacked my food delivery apps and I was doing DoorDash that night. And everything was black except Jinx. Right? No business anywhere in all of Tulsa for DoorDash right during dinner, peak hours. But Jinx is wide open. So we know that they call Jinx and Broken Arrow a lot. We know that. We hear y'all talking to him. She's okay. She's in Broken Arrow. Keep an eye out for her. Pull her over. Take that car away from her. And so that's why, I mean, I'm not told who it is. They do not tell me who it is. I can tell often by context. And then after a while, I'll get to recognize somebody's voice like Mr. Powell. I never met Mr. Powell. I lived in Lubbock 6 years. He didn't go to all the political stuff. I was involved. I was campaign activities director for Lubbock area Republican women. I was very active in that group. And I never met him. He didn't go to that stuff. So I was down the hall talking to one of his people about two things. One was I had my client that was running for county commissioner, so we were talking to them about what do you need in a county commissioner. What are issues important to you? That's what you do when you're running a campaign. You find out what your voters want or the people affected by your position. So I was down the hall from him and still didn't meet him, but I got to recognize his voice over when he was talking to Charles, and by content, you can tell. I mean, you can tell a conversation of a DA, but I wasn't told who said that. I'm sick and tired of this. This guy bothering me. I'm guessing it was Jinx because of the way you hacked my app and what lit up that night. I mean, I'm just being real blunt here. And the best way to solve a problem is talk about it. And this is a very big problem. Your crime is obscene and disgusting to everybody else. It makes everybody uncomfortable. We're all sick of it. Everybody's just sick of y'all. The suffering and the cruelty, it just makes people want to barf. So we can get help getting information like that. Now, whether or not that guy is the one that talked to my guys or someone else around or someone, I don't know where he got a wiretap order. I don't know. I'm not told if the information's obtained by wiretap orders, and there might have been. If you're calling certain police departments asking them to pull me over to take my car away using information obtained illegally and in the commission of a felony, they might have a wiretap order on a couple of different ones. I don't know. I'm not told that. I don't know what comes from leaks and what comes from that type of deal. I don't know. I know that You're on thin ice, and you act like you don't know that. You're on very, very thin ice, Mr. Perry. Everyone is sick of this and sick of you. Everybody is very uncomfortable with what you're putting me through. Very uncomfortable. It's illegal for a reason. You're alone for a reason. So what Perry did is they forged a marriage license and a power of attorney to be able to start to get information on my life so that they could begin to tear it down to make me easier to traffic. Like I said, I've tried to get a job at Walgreens, Target, Quick Trip. I got nothing back. After that first Walgreens letter, you're not qualified. And I went back in, and she goes, our manager's here. We want you to apply. We want you to work here. And I said, I did. I got a letter back that said, you're not qualified. I'm qualified. I'm a third-year college student. I got a 3.64. I had a business of my own. I'm definitely qualified. And she said, okay, try again. Try again. So I did. I tried again. Nothing. Nothing from Target. Nothing at all. So they know you did that, Mr. Perry, because that's what you do. You substantiated my witness. Thank you. Thank you very much. Go ahead and tell everybody how I can't prove my case. Talk about Pinto soliciting prostitution and the text from Mickey James and the text from David with death threats. And tell them how I can't prove my case, Princess Cuckoo Bird. Did you tell them about how I found out you have Huntington's? You have a certified nutbag problem. Certified nutty. Official diagnosis. I am crazy. And I can't control myself. Yep. You're alone for a reason. You're told on for a reason. Most people that doesn't have to be explained to most people. And it's been explained to you people over and over and over. And y'all get all shocked and dismayed when I won't change my mind and when I start quoting you. It's been that way for 7 years. No one understands why you think I would change my mind. You're about to go to jail. When you're in jail, that's why we're getting this stuff. To put you in jail. To get a conviction. And restitution. You're making that easy. It's so easy, it's not even fair. People don't like what you're doing. They don't like it. They want you to stop it. So we have no problem getting help, getting that information. And you don't have even one guy's name, much less a quote from one of our guys' meetings. Look at your results, look at ours. People don't like what you're doing. Everybody's sick of this and sick of you. And I don't know how many different ways I can say that for you to get it. So you do what you do, but stop crying about it. You're asking for it. You're fucking asking for it. Alright? You're hurting people. Our guys are offering to make that stop. When you're in jail, there's no more peeping, poking, pink panty, pathetic Perry bothering me anymore. There's no more unwanted contact. There's no more disgusting you hitting on me. There's no more taking my money. I won't ever be broke again. There's no more invasion of my privacy. There's no more threats to my friends and family. There's no more nothing. You'll be gone. You won't be here to do it. No more drama. No more problems. You make everything fun, unfun. You make everything a thing and an ordeal. There won't be a threat to my car or my home. You threatened my home the first time. We got the Muffin Man. There won't be a new car or a new apartment. We got the Muffin Man out of that. Since we can't take her money and get her kicked out for non-payment because of COVID, let's do it on smoking. We got Calvin and Blankenship and Desiree when you did that. When you had me kicked out of my hotel just a few months later and took everything I own because my guy said she's not to be broke again. And you misunderstood apparently, or you're just stupid. And you don't know what people are saying to you, and you might be. But don't bother me with it. Don't fucking bother me with it. When you do, you pay for it. We got Lucius's name. We got Sanjay the hacker's name. We got Geppetto the witch's name. We got Beverly's name. We got, who else did we get? James and Ruben, you think they're leaks. Do I keep going? I mean, we repeat ourselves every fucking day. It's ridiculous. It's a constant repeat. Everybody's so irritated. Why do you have to say the same thing to that bitch and he still doesn't get it? Why does he act like we hear you're constantly be told, act your age. One guy when I was in Manfred said, we had a meeting and Charles Perry was told, you gotta leave her, let her go. It's not that hard to let her go. You're messing things up for everybody else. And he clenched his fist and turned red and threw a fit like a 1-year-old little brat. He goes, in my entire life, I've not seen anybody, a grown man, act like that. I had to leave the room. I wanted to barf. made me sick at my stomach to watch him act like that. So, why are you making people feel, even your own people are uncomfortable with you? How embarrassing. Go get some treatment, sir. You have a disease that legitimately certifies you as nutty. You can't conduct yourself with dignity and class and show some respect. So we can get information from inside your criminal organization, and nobody will help you with shit. In all these years, they have not. They will not. We don't want y'all gone. I didn't pick a fight with you. You're picking one with me every time you cause a loss. Have a little meeting and try to make a decision. Can you call her and tell her to leave Oklahoma? Oh my God. Wow. You leave Oklahoma. You live in Texas. Nobody invited you here. What if somebody broke into your home, tore up all your shit, and then tried to make you leave your house? What if you had already moved twice to get away from that individual? Everybody would want to hit you. Hit the guy. And everybody wants to hit you. Get the fuck out of my life. Because it's the law. You're breaking the law. You're making everybody uncomfortable. You're making everybody angry. You're making everybody furious with you. You leave. You aren't invited here. That guy, I guess, from Jinx or Broken Arrow, maybe it was broken. I don't know. I'm not told that. What I was told was, he said, tell him to go back to Texas, be with his family, and get a life. He wasted my time. He called me all fucking day. Want me to pull her over. I have shit to do. I'm busy. You know what, Mr. Perry? A lot of people say that. I'm busy. He's taking time away. Your guy said that. You don't have a real love life, and you don't have a cover-up. And you're taking time away from my family and my business for your soap opera that's all in your head. Doesn't go both ways. She does not like you. She doesn't like you. Houston guy, what are you going to do? Share me? So here's what we believe the deal was, though. They're using the forgeries to get information to tear my life down, to get information to find out where I applied for a job, and then go tell them don't hire her. Or do a spoof, like this guy said. They'll do a spoof page. So you think you're applying for a job with Walgreens, you're filling out a form on their spoof page. Walgreens never gets it. It goes to them. So you don't get a call back. And that way they keep you from making money. It's not like, I want to work. And I want to make money. I want to pay my bills on time. And you're intentionally preventing me from doing that. It is illegal to do that. Grand larceny with intent to coerce. Interference with commerce and contracts with intent to coerce. Coercion, witness tampering. Those are the actual crimes I believe he's going to charge you with. The act is those, is what he said. So, you live with your choices, can't you, Princess Cuckoo Bird? You're by yourself for a reason. So they used that to get information illegally. Lucky did ask me about it. Did you sign a marriage license? Why the fuck would I do that, Lucky? He goes, I didn't think you did. It didn't look like your signature to me. It looked like a forgery. Okay, so then that comes out. I find out. How'd she find out? Everybody, the two things we hear the most is, why is he doing that to her? What is wrong with him that he's doing that to her? And the second is, how'd she find out? Do you see the correlation between those two comments right there? How did she find out about that? How did she know about that? Mr. Perry, this is not a conversation, it's a podcast. You only know that I'm doing this by illegal means. Do not contact me again. I fucking hate it. No one cares what you think, whack job. You don't even make sense. So, which we believe that's in part why Lucky was murdered by Mr. Perry. And Mike was almost murdered and framed. I'm going to say it. You can use allegedly all you want. Any cop from anywhere who's not a finger paint cop is going to look at a picture of Michael Neely or his interview where he's saying they scammed a detective who is finger paint cop. It appears he was beat. Mike's like, I don't have anything on my hands. Manfred police officer Michael Neely had just 6 days before taking a vandalism complaint because you fucked with my car. But I didn't even know that. We don't even know that for sure. It's just it might be stalking related. Mike starts looking into it, right? By the way, one of the men I'm suing for stalking has his employees 3 doors down right here. You should have seen the look on his face when I said that. Yep. So, I said they've been threatening my car for a long time. I just had a brick thrown at me in the freeway. This is a new car. They totaled my last one. It should have been my face. That was murder attempt number 2. Right? So, they had, so when everybody starts going, well, that's a forgery, that's just questioning, where's the wedding photos? She doesn't consent to this. Then he tells everybody, oh, let's throw together a wedding. It's a ruse. There's no marriage. There's no real love life. There's no wedding. I don't know how the hell you thought you would get me to comply with that. You'd have to drug me. There's no way I would marry a sick little bitch like you. I don't go out with a man unless he makes sure I don't miss a meal. I'm going to starve her into a lie. See, he doesn't even want the date. He wants the lie. So we're not even believing him anymore. Nobody even believes him anymore. He's full of shit. So all he's trying to do, though, is that he thinks he's bait. And we're all going, wow, he thinks he's bait. The most disgusting, repulsive person on the planet to me right now thinks he's bait. Because if I do this fake wedding and this forger, then I don't have a forger anymore. Now I can say she consented. Now I got wedding photos. And she'll come back to Texas with me, and then we can traffic her, and I get my money, and we're done. That's what he was doing. Now, I'm going to tell the local police something. I'm going to say it one more time. I didn't come up here to pick a fight with you guys either. I'm cop this family. For me, I have been raised by 4 generations, as everybody knows. You're probably sick and tired of hearing me say I'm Chief Hall's granddaughter. As lawmen, he said, we're called to relieve suffering caused by crime. The job is to tell victims you're safe now. We got your dragon. We slayed your dragon. He will not hurt you again. You're safe now. I think that ought to be on the wall of every police department, everywhere, as soon as you walk in. You look at the wall right in front of you, and it says you're safe now. With that underneath, as lawmen and women, we are called to relieve suffering caused by crime. That's the job. That's the only thing your job is. There is nothing else required of you, of your job. It may require your life in the process of delivering that, but that's what you are to deliver in exchange for having a roof over your head and a car in your driveway, food on your table, clothes on your children's backs. You make us safe, period. That's it. Or don't be a cop. I don't have anything against any local cops at all. I'm going to tell you this, though. I barely knew Mike and Lucky, and nothing broke my heart more than seeing Lucky was murdered and Mike is framed and almost murdered. And it's a pattern we spotted the second time you do it. That's the second time then that you had 2 people who were given something in their drink that caused a bodily injury. Arsenic and opioid. And could have caused death. And when we didn't die, there's a false arrest and perjury. Lots of perjury. Concealment of a material fact from the deciding body that was likely to change the outcome is perjury or suborning perjury, especially when you have a duty to disclose it. Right? You did it twice. That's the pattern. It only takes twice for us to spot the pattern. Here you guys are 7 years later. When you do the crime to me, it's different. You get caught. But it's the same every time you do it. You can't spot that pattern 7 years into this. Doesn't get any more mental slow than you. Doesn't. So, hold on. Alright, so when we quote you, can you call her and tell her to leave? Oh my god, wow. There are 40 cops that I listen to, and no one else do I listen to. I can't. This is a job, and I'm good at it. So I've learned how to tune everything else out. Charles has a negative agenda and malicious intent. So he may tell someone close to me, say this to her. And see if you can get her to do this or that, or that, tell her ex-husband, don't give her money. Tell her she has to move to Texas or she can starve and freeze. You don't give a fuck anymore. Tell her that. Right? So I don't listen to him, because I know you've talked to him. I heard y'all talking to him about getting me a vacuum cleaner. I heard y'all talking to him about oil, whatever, doing something to my car. I heard y'all talking to him about going to Victoria's Secret. My ex-husband and I are platonic friends. I would like very much for us to have a relationship like you see on Reba or New Christine, and I've made that very clear to him. I feel very platonic love for you. You're the father of my kid. I spent 10 years of my life with you. I don't want to lose your friendship. I enjoy your company, but I'm not romantically attracted to you at all. And he came up here recently, and paid for a week at my hotel, finally, after I screamed and threw a fit, and said, stay away from my family. But he had some expectations he had never had before. It was strange. Never has he had, these are the strings attached. Never, ever has he had that as that happened. And now he's back to, I'm not going to help you. Starve. Freeze to death. I don't give a fuck. Now, what caused that? Because that was a sudden change, and he and I did not have a fight. He and I hadn't had no fight. So y'all talked to him, and y'all said something that wasn't true, and he went for it. But I've learned not to do that. I don't listen to anybody but the 40 cops helping me. Do you understand? You can have anybody call me and say you need to leave Oklahoma. It's going to go, yeah, whatever. We'll make this another unwanted contact. Stalking. Coercion. Made by Mr. Perry through a proxy. And that's all that is. There are 40 cops who are after your ass because you're hurting people. And they want to slay you. You're the dragon. That's how I get this information, sir. When you ask, how did she find out? Why is he doing that to her? What is wrong with him that he's putting her through that? And so we get information nobody else has. Ask Geppetto. Ask the Muffin Man. Ask Bald Fat Calvin. Ask Lucius. And when I have that, for you to think that you're getting away with this, nobody knows what the hell we don't even know what to say to that. So the only people that have influence over me are the guys that give me this information that has saved my life. I didn't go to work and get a shot because I was told about it beforehand. I knew you trafficked me, and to who. I know every time you call and want my car, and want me pulled over. Because you're pissing people off. Everybody's sick of this. Nobody likes your crime. Nobody likes your crime. We've got more evidence than anybody else has. And my guy said that. I have more evidence than anybody else he knows. Anybody else he knows. He thinks I'm going to drop everything I'm doing for that and go spend time talking to a nutbag who has no fucking idea what I said. And I'm not going to waste my time doing that until he acts like he understands me. What I said is she's not to be broke again. She's not to have her privacy invaded again. And you're not to contact her or her family. Nobody. You leave them alone. Show some respect for the law and for her. Get out of her life. And then I'll talk to him, if he's not already in jail. Period. That's it. That's his decision. And he goes, and I'm sure shit not repeating myself for that bitch. I'm not doing it. I don't have time. How many people have said that? I have no fucking time for this. The drama, the soap opera, the crime. Unless you're working to catch it. That's what he said. My time has been spent very well getting the information and giving it to her. I'm the one that told her this. I'm the one that told her that. What do you think you're going to tell me I don't already know? So, I don't have time to be, for him to sit there thinking he's going to bullshit me. I've been listening to him talk every day for a decade. I know a hell of a lot more about what he's doing than we've even said. So what's he think? He's thinking he's going to fool me? And it's no different. He's telling me everything you just said. So you're going to send somebody to tell me you have to leave Oklahoma. He's going to laugh. I'm going to laugh and we're going to, yeah, whatever. You don't call the shots in my life. You're not even supposed to be in it. Whack job. You're the criminal. You're pissing everybody off. You're the one hurting everybody. Nobody will help you with information, but they're helping us stop the hurt you're causing. And you need to get that. Nobody should have to tell you that over and over and over. They shouldn't have to tell you at all, much less over and over. At your age, you ought to be able to put that together in your head by yourself. So if somebody calls me and tells me XYZ, go to a shelter, go to a shelter, go to a shelter. And my guy's going, yeah, here's what they're doing with that. Listen to this guy talk. I need to get her to a shelter so I can take that computer away from her. She can't finish college. There's no more college money, and I can get those homeless people to take it from her and her driver's license, and then we can get her out here and traffic her. So he's playing that for me. Doesn't matter who tells me go to a shelter. I'm not going. So we've said this already. You've been told this before, haven't you? We've heard you say we told her family they can't help her right now. We've heard you say it. We want to traffic her. Trafficking is a very, very, very serious crime. It comes with a life sentence, and you're caught. And for us to quote you guys that much, and you think you're getting away with it, you really are mentally retarded. There's no question you are. Now, I'm going to differentiate real quick on this. I had patients that had Down syndrome who were very productive, citizens, very kind people. One of them had the mind of a 6-year-old, literally. Most beautiful woman in the world. I took her to meet Heather Wilson, Congresswoman Heather Wilson. It was great. Heather started crying. She loved her to death. When I say the word, when I'm talking about somebody with a mental impairment due to a like Down syndrome, I call them, Down syndrome. When I say retard, the word retard means to be held back. Whole different thing for me in my head. A mental retard is somebody who's held back. And that's you. Right? If you can't understand what people are saying to you when they're trying to make you stop doing something that hurts another person, you're held back from understanding what those words mean, and you think you're not, you're going to get away with this and you're not caught and blah, blah, blah. It doesn't get any more held back than you. So it's a whole different thing when I'm saying it. Because if somebody's truly mentally disabled, I never say that. I never call them that. Never, ever, ever in my whole life have I done that. We only call you that because you are mentally retarded. Now, we said, get the fuck out of my life. Do not butt into anything again. It's none of your business where I live or what I do or where I work. The allegations are stalking and coercion, witness tampering, voyeurism, hacking, felonies all. Witness tampering, right? And you don't get to do that in a civilized society. You don't get to. Absolutely don't get to. And you can put me through hell, but I know at the end result of this will be you're in jail, and you can't do that to anybody ever again. Not ever again. We slayed the dragon, he won't hurt you again. So I'm willing to go through some temporary discomfort for a long-term pleasure. The pleasure of the nightmare's over and you're gone. You're not allowed, no longer around to hurt me anymore. You're locked up. When somebody's a danger to society, they typically remove that person from the society they're a danger to, don't they? TPD? I mean, our guys are doing that. What the hell are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? I mean, you have to answer those questions. I'm not going to speak for you. You answer those questions. So, we'll do the disclaimer. Use allegedly. Nobody's been found guilty in a court of law yet. Apply the but-for legal standard. But-for Mr. Perry planning one crime after another to me to try to coerce and force and cause bodily injury to coerce a lie. Take my car, make me homeless and eating out of a dumpster, and freeze to death. Because only then does he look like the better choice, him and, Frankenstein from Houston. The second thing is, listen, I would not go out with a man that would participate in this kind of activity. Now, maybe if you were a customer and you came into the strip club and you were really nice to me and you were fun to hang out with and an interesting person to talk to, it wouldn't have cost you a dime. I don't know. That ship sailed the second you decided to become a part of making my life a living hell. Okay? Maybe what you should do is try to find a date the normal way, and then people won't hate your guts. If you're not impressed with you, why would we be? If you think that the only thing bad, the only thing is if she freezes to death, now she'll call. Left my home in Houston. I've been sitting here in Tulsa waiting for her to get cold enough for her to change her mind, and then she'll come with me. No, I'll die first. I'll freeze to death. You have no idea. I am not going with you. I've said that. Stop expecting me to change my mind. Manage your expectations properly. None of you do that. None of you have done that for all these years. When Geppetto says, I did a seance on her last night, she'll wake up this morning and change her mind. Have I ever? Fuck no. Fuck no. Geppetto doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. Look at in Kings when Ahab got a deceptive spirit. He's just a whack job too. So, I don't subscribe to Satanism. I don't know why you would. Because it doesn't work. It fucking doesn't work. So, I know my God works. I know my God has shown up in this situation so many times I lost count. People wouldn't help us, and then we started praying, and all of a sudden they'd call back and go, okay, I'll help you. over and over and over. I mean, so many. I mean, we got this. God's got this. And he does not like it when you hurt people. These are his people. We're all his children. Right? So quit hurting his children. And, so we got that. I mean, we just get more. It's the same thing every day. Repeat, repeat, repeat. You cause me a problem, we get more. Oh, this is the Fabian puzzle. And I guess somebody was like, I can explain a lot of this stuff away, but this I can't. And I'm not going to help you with that. So apply the but for legal standard, the reasonable, prudent individual standard. And the guy that said, I'm not going to put my name on a nutbag's bad decision. Not doing it. That's a reasonable, prudent individual decision, I would say. That's what cops are supposed to do. And the guy that said he needs to get a life. He's giving me a whole lot of shit. He got through the commission of a felony. I know she didn't call him and tell him he'd have to get it illegally. I can't do anything with that. And he's calling me demanding that I pull him over. And it looks like he did what she... I mean, come on with this. Tell him to go back to Lubbock, be with his wife and kids, and leave everybody in here in Oklahoma the fuck alone. He wasn't invited here. Get a life. Go be. So, that's what the guy said. I could probably explain a lot of stuff away that she's got beforehand. This I can't. Apply the but for legal standard. We assert all constitutional rights, especially but not limited to the equal protection against misogyny and gender discrimination. It is hideous that you guys would do that. TBD. I'm going to call you out on that. I'm calling you out on it, Richard. I forgot to say we know Richard and Dickie too. Those, I don't believe those are the same people. I believe they're two different people. We're calling you out. Just enforce the law. Just protect people. Just fucking protect people. 44% increase in domestic violence victims, murders. And not only that, but domestic violence crimes, their police are killed at those things for some reason. And so you're putting your colleagues at risk too. And that's what happened with Lucky and Mike. That was a domestic violence call. Now you got another dead police officer. How many more need to die before you know, we have somebody else helping me, or I'd be dead too. It's not cool. It's fucking not cool. There's no respect for y'all for that. I'm sorry. You have to, respect is earned. But we do respect the guy that said, I'm not putting my name on a whack job's bad decision. That's a reasonable, prudent individual thing to say, don't you think? And he's bothered me all fucking day. He needs to go back to Texas and get a life. He wasn't invited to Oklahoma. And he's coming at me with the stuff he got from during the commission of a felony. He got it illegally. I know she didn't call him and tell him. So how does he know this? Through illegal means. I can't do anything with it. He needs to get a life and leave us all alone. We're all busy. We have other stuff to do. He needs to get a life. So, the thing that attracted me to Daryl and Fabian and my ex-husband is they worked hard, Charles, and they had something interesting to talk about. And you don't. You've disturbed everybody. You've creeped everybody out. You've upset people. Everybody's sick of you and sick of this. So we can get help getting information, and you can't. 7 years into this, you have not one name. I just rattled off a whole bunch of people's names in your deal. I'm coaching you guys every fucking day. Okay? Leave everybody the hell alone. And nobody's going to help you with anything until I have money and a place to live or a place to stay, a warm bed, a shower, food, basic rights and needs, because you took mine. So that's the problem here. You took it, you give it back, and you get the hell out. And don't bother anybody again. Or we'll just get more until your arrest. And then we'll have, an easier time getting convictions and more restitution. You choose. You can live with your choices.
You feel? You're filming my father and my fucking sister. How does this make you
Is that
feel?
the one that put all the scratches on your arm? You want to see the
Scratches?
You want,
I got
I
scratches.
can show you the pictures right now.
No, I want you to leave my family fucking alone.
Keep hanging outside of there.
Hit the road. Dude, I promise you, you're gonna get yours and you're
I forgot to say this real quick. Sometimes I get distracted. I have a little bit of ADD, not too bad, but some. So when my forensic accountant and I sit down and figure out how much money I need to make to get back into pay the week of the hotel and pay the car guy and this and that, all of a sudden my money went way down. And like I said, I'm working 12 hours, not just 6 to 8. So when I'm working 6 to 8, I make enough for the hotel, not the car, just like they planned. And then a second, I leave the hotel, and we have a 10-day plan to get back into it. I pay the week at a time, so I'm not struggling so much. And the car guy, and some other bills. And all of a sudden, you make sure I make nothing. So, my guys are very upset about that, and it helped us get more, just so you know. Okay?
I don't give a fuck. You can bring whoever the fuck you want.
That's okay. You're
You
gonna
can bring
Is
the
that
whole
a
fucking
threat?
army. I don't give a fuck.
How does this make you feel? You're filming my father and my fucking sister. How does this make you
got
feel?
the one that put all those scratches on your arm. You want to see the
Scratches?
pictures? You want,
I got
I
scratches.
can show you the pictures right now.
No, I want you to leave my family fucking alone.
Keep hanging outside of there.
Hit the road. Dude, I promise you, you're gonna get yours and you're
I don't
gonna
give
get
a fuck. You can bring whoever the fuck you want.
That's okay. You're
You
gonna
can bring
Is
the
that
whole
a
fucking
threat?
army. I don't give a fuck.
This make
These guys do not make any sense. I have to deal with it all fucking day. They make absolutely no sense at all. No, I mean, just you're just like, oh my god, fucking. And that's not how you get women to like you either, by the way.
That's okay. I don't care.
Leave me alone.
All you want.
I don't want to pray for this. Please leave me alone.
Hey men, leave women the fuck alone. When they're in public, when they're doing anything, you don't have the right to their attention. You don't have the right to step into their personal space. You don't have the right to them. Especially if they're making it very clear they don't want to be talked to. But even when they're not, unless a woman is giving you enthusiastic and continuous body language and signs that she wants to talk to your ugly dumbass, then leave her the fuck alone. Find a date a different way. Okay? It's not clever. It's not cool. It's not cute. It's garbage. It's absolute garbage behavior. And you're a garbage person if you do it. I don't care if it's in public. It doesn't fucking matter. You don't have the right to her. You need to leave her alone. And this is bacon.
Okay, so this guy and Jinx are broken over where you were that Charles was calling. Pull her over, pull her over. Please take your car away. Please take your car away. Constantly. Oh, it's just like, oh god. Our guys won't talk to him. They're busy. They won't even give him the time of day. So I mean, you do what you want, but our guys aren't giving him the time of day. They're catching his crime. They're busy doing that. But they don't take his phone calls. He just said, show some respect to the law and to her, and until she's got money and you're not in her life anymore, I'm not wasting my time because you don't understand what I say anyway. So when you show me you can understand what I just said, if you're not in jail already, then I'll call you. All right? Otherwise, you're not going to get a phone call. It's just not going to happen. Nobody's going to help you with information. In all these years, they have not. You have no name. You have nothing. You're calling police departments randomly, hoping you're getting the one, and then you know, then somebody will call you back. Oh, you found us. Okay, what? And you didn't get a call back, did you? That's what he said. We got a Texas senator involved in sex trafficking and one of the victims involved in the investigation. They're getting stuff nobody has. Everybody, TPD, listen. We are getting stuff nobody has. You're not getting it, we are. I got Pinto and Mickey James and David incriminating texts and crap, soliciting prostitution. Be creeped out by him for $5,000. Be creeped out by him for a few hours and be $5,000 richer. Right? I got that. Me. I did it. Right? This is how we slay dragons, TPD. So, this is something that you can do too. Hang up the phone. I'm busy solving crimes and shit. That's what police do. And relieving suffering caused by crime. And you're wasting my time. Again, you don't have to talk to him. Our guys don't. Why should you? He's been given an instruction, a directive. If you want me to call you, she's not broke anymore. You're not in her privacy. You're not contacting her ever again or her family. And then I'll be in touch. But until I see that you understand what I'm saying, that you're going to show some respect for the law and for her, you're not going to waste my time. Period. And so he said if he doesn't do it, then maybe he doesn't want that phone call after all. You know, you do what you do. But everybody else is sick of it and sick of you. So we can get information and you can't. We can get help. Nobody's helping you. For 7 years. It doesn't get any slower than you.